welcome to Box, where we unbox, review and demonstrate the latest tech. Today we have with us the 2022 Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop. Taking everything you love about the previous Nitro 5 and amping it up to its full potential, the 2022 version may just outrank all of the powerful gaming laptops on the market right now. The all-round design, well thought out specifications and beautifully crisp display makes this laptop an incredibly capable machine, perfect for all of your gaming and creative needs on the go. Taking a look at the overall design, it doesn't hide away its gamer roots. You get some really nice gaming aesthetic features like the subtle but striking pixelated line design on the back, the angular looking vents along the edges, and of course the white lined keys on the keyboard to really make those RGB lights stand out. It's much thicker than I expected, especially compared to some of the other slimline models on the market. It roughly weighs around 2.50 kilograms with about an inch thickness when closed. The body itself measures around 14 inches wide and 10 inches deep, offering plenty of space to work your game to perfection. But to be honest, it's packed with a lot of heavy duty processing power and a decent cooling system, so I'm happy to accept this considering what I'm getting in return. I do like the all black design as it fits in well with all of my other accessories, and definitely doesn't distract from your game. The main body consists largely of a plastic build, but don't be fooled into thinking that it can't take a bit of rough handling on the go. As an added bonus, there's a webcam built into the top of the display, offering a pretty decent adaptive picture for making video calls or game chats on the go when you need it. Now looking at the connections here, Acer have really thought about how the user interacts with this laptop. There's inputs all along the right, left and back, covering as many bases as possible. On the left there's a headphone port, a USB port, an Ethernet connection and a Kensington lock. On the right there's a few LEDs for charging and power indication and two USB ports. On the back there's a full-size HDMI, a Thunderbolt 4 port that supports charging capabilities and DisplayPort output, and finally the power input. Taking it in hand, it does feel robust. It is quite large, making it a little cumbersome to hold under my arm, but the material and angular shape really makes it easy to keep a firm grip. Now the added weight does keep it well anchored to the desk as I adjust position and open and close the lid. The extension on the lid isn't exactly far, but it's perfect enough for adjusting to a comfortable view when on my lap or standing at a desk. I also love that no matter where I place the screen, it stays firmly in place, letting me angle it exactly where I like to avoid glare and get comfortable. As a gaming laptop, you'll know you'll need a decent keyboard to help keep you on top of your game. Now it's generally quite a wide but slimline set of keys, just shallow enough to let your fingers glide to the right key in record time, while also offering enough height to easily differentiate between each key by touch alone. The Nitro series have always done RGB keyboards incredibly well. The NitroSense system is one of my favourites for customizing key colours and really setting the mood for whatever game I'm playing. The WASD keys are of course highlighted, and you even get a quick access NitroSense key to immediately jump into the alterations menu whenever you feel the need for a change. Now the touchpad is a little small for my liking, but it's a slightly different texture to the body and it's pretty responsive when I need it to be, perfect for navigating around when I don't use the mouse. Now getting into the specifications here, the Nitro 5 is truly spoiled when it comes to quality. For the display, you get a 15.6-inch IPS LCD screen with a 1920 by 1080 Full HD resolution. It's blessed with a super smooth 144Hz refresh rate, so there's no worry about choppy looking gameplay. The display does look quite impressive when you play those 4K ready videos and some of the latest game titles, but even just playing a few movie trailers in 1080p, the quality is still comfortable to watch. Now it is a matte display, so glare appears as a nice soft patch on the screen, and even with the brightness on high, it does let me see some of the darker scenes pretty well in a bright room. The IPS Comfy View tech even lets you see the full picture when tilting the screen at a sharp angle, so even if you need to tilt the screen to avoid glare at any point, you still get that full picture. Unsurprisingly, colours do also come out vivid and bright, so playing a game like Forza Horizon 5 means I get to see the beautiful colour palette of Mexico at its best. Internally, you do get some of the best processing power and graphics available for running those high-performance game titles on a laptop. It does run using 12th gen Intel i5 processing power, coupled with the ever-popular Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 laptop GPU. Now this GPU has full benefits of being full power with an MGP of 140 watts, allowing you to use it to its full potential compared to the usual standard. It's backed up by a generous 16GB onboard memory, reaching its max at 32GB when upgraded, as well as up to 6GB dedicated VRAM too. As for storage, there is only a 512GB SSD, but for installing a game or two and working largely off hard drives and cloud storage, this isn't much of an issue in my eyes. Acer has also gifted the Nitro 5 with a handy mux switch, letting you take control and direct the power to the dedicated graphics for the best possible game performance. With all of this in mind, gaming is unsurprisingly smooth sailing. Now, I didn't get to test out a wide variety of the latest titles, but loading up a game like Forza Horizon 5 using the Xbox Game Pass, I got a good idea on what it was capable of for portable gaming. Instantly, it recommended the ultra quality graphics preset. Now, I don't always believe a gaming laptop when it does suggest this, but to my surprise, it didn't disappoint. On mains power, I ran the game at full spec, and yes, there was no tearing, lag, or general sluggish gameplay in sight. I could race through the streets at high speeds, crash through obstacles without a hitch, and even traipse through the jungle for a while looking for barns without worrying if the laptop can handle it. I haven't seen a laptop perform this well with a game in a while, so overall I'm very pleased with the game performance side. Even off mains power, I could still push through on ultra quality even with that slight drop in performance. I know laptops hardly last like this on battery alone when gaming, but it's good to know that if I quickly need to drop down to battery power for a moment, it won't completely crash the game. Another highlight for online gamers is of course the Intel killer tech. Though I didn't necessarily play any online titles here, I love the reassurance of having the Wi-Fi 6, as well as a control center that optimizes the network performance to reduce common annoyances like lag and low latency to give me a more reliable connection and keep me in the game. Now, even some great laptops can be plagued with screen deformities. Lucky for the Nitro 5 though, the display seemed to come away clean with no visible blooming, no dead pixels, and none of that annoying IPS glow. Now, the max brightness could do with being a little stronger, but even in this bright space, the pictures still looked sharp and clear thanks to that backlit display, which is good to know. Knowing it has the power behind it to play these types of games, it's always good to know how well it handles cooling. Now, Acer has put in the work as usual to make sure it stays cool, even if it means compromising on a bit of peace and quiet. It has dual fan cooling and a smart control system within the NitroSense app for adjusting the fan's best to your activity. I had the fan set to default, so when I booted up the game, it set the fans going wherever it needed the support. The max fan speed is a touch on the loud side, but for how quickly it cools down the laptop on performance mode, I'd take this any day over a laptop that couldn't handle it. There is a silent option if you need it, but for performance, the fans really work well in making sure that I'm not lost to overheating. Now, if you're often working in your own gaming setup, then the speakers are kind of important. Specs wise, they're dual 2-watt speakers with DTS-X Ultra and even 3D spatial sound support, which is good news for the competitive gamer. I had the sound set best for gaming, and overall I found the volume to reach some decent heights, and even getting some nice bass coverage when revving the engine to the max in Forza. The sound wasn't as impressive as I'd like, but to give you an idea, here's a few quick sound samples to let you know what sort of quality we have on offer. When you're out on the go, having a good battery life is crucial. Now, it does have a 57 Wh/hour 4-cell lithium-ion battery that's powered back up using this sizable 180 watt power brick. There are quite a few charging points off the laptop for powering other devices, but connecting it up to the mains on the back here is the only way to charge the laptop alone, and it's not exactly fast. Charging time is slightly slower than you might find on other competing models, but it did seem to power it back up by 20 to 30% quite quickly, which is enough to keep it going in a pinch. Obviously, you won't be able to run high performance games off the battery alone, and having the brightness on full, the battery will deplete considerably fast. But overall, I found myself powering it up more often when playing games over a few hours and pushing the laptop to its limits. So overall, I'd say I'm very impressed with the performance and display quality of this new Nitro 5. I had little complaints with the previous model, but this one just seemed to have those extra upgrades that I didn't realise I needed until now. I love the gamer style aesthetics in the design, and the customizable RGB backlit keyboard really makes gaming a lot more atmospheric. What it loses with the heavier chassis and slower charging, it gains when it comes to gaming, which is where it really counts. It plays games in super high quality, and it keeps things nice and cool, so I can take my games with me wherever I go, knowing that they will perform at their best. So what are your thoughts on the 2022 Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Box, where we have plenty of hands-on reviews on the latest tech. And as always, thanks for watching.